ready to click go live whenever.
All right, I reckon we're live, my friend. Are you live on Facebook?
I am now live on Facebook, and I'm just clicking the transition, and guess what? Hang on, let's transition that back out. Hello, everyone on Facebook. We're just doing our little thing again.
Getting our tech stuff sorted.
Getting our technology sorted. I can't change it, and it's done the same thing as last week, where we now have a massively big screen.
What?
So, yep.
Can you see if you can right click on it and do it like we did the other day?
Yeah, I'm trying to. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us. Stacey will start the update while your screen bounces around. Please don't watch the screen. Just listen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy guys on Facebook do well.
Yes, good morning.
Anyone on Facebook, we apologise once more. We are having technical difficulties with our screen. No, it's actually there now, and it should be working. Oh, I hope so anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think yes, you're right, mate. I think Facebook is now coming through fine.
Good morning, everyone. Hopefully we have our technical difficulties resolved, very much like people who don't believe in Bitcoin have their technical difficulties resolved.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We do want to do that. We want to resolve all those technical difficulties for anyone struggling with Bitcoin. That's why we're here.
That's exactly right.
We want to help the uninitiated and the skepticals and all those curious.
And those who are just plain wrong.
Oh, will that be me? No.
Well, it's generally me at least half a dozen times a day. But don't tell my kids I said that, because I tell them I'm always right.
Yeah, they don't listen to us anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I normally get, yeah, Dad, you believe that.
Sure. Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, listen, I'll share my screen then, my friend, and we shall delve into the joy of cryptos and see what's been happening in that space.
Absolutely.
And you can see my screen now, Mr. Deal.
I can indeed, and look at that. We're over the 10 mark, which is always good considering how low we got last week.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but it's been an interesting few days over the weekend. Yeah, we've had it's been choppy as, like, it's been up and down all over the shop, right? So for the week we're actually, for the most part, we're seeing a fair bit of green across the week, but certainly in the last 24 hours we're still showing red across most of the top 10.
Yep.
But just in the last hour, we're starting to show a bit of an upward trend again in the last hour. So who knows? Our global market cap is currently sitting at 286 billion. So we seem to have been in a range now for a little while. So even going back to what's this, 11th of July was sort of hovering just above the 300, and then we've come down below that around the 14th, and we've been below the 300 now for since the 14th. But I think I just get the feeling that we're getting ready for a bit of a run up again.
Yeah, well, I hope so. As does everyone who's bought Bitcoin. But but if you have a look at it there, well, I mean, the 7-day 0.33. It's not great gains, but it's still green, or slightly very, very faded green. But the 90-day, we're still 96% up and still 5.59% up on the 30-day.
Yeah.
So anyone who invested 1 month ago, 30 days ago, got 5.59% on their money. You can't tell me they'd get that in a bank.
No.
Right now, I have to qualify that. It may go the other way as well,
yes,
because that's the volatility of this market. But for those that are looking at short-term trading, it's still a pretty good option.
Oh, absolutely. So, and if we look at the actual Bitcoin chart, and talking about the ups and downs, well, that's you can see the candles showing lots of volatility there, and this is on a longer term scale as well. But certainly since the beginning of the year, if I get it to the right level, so since the beginning of the year, where we're down in the high 3000s,
Yeah.
You can see that we've had this really nice uptrend happening for most of the year. We've had this pullback. Now, hopefully, we've hit the bottom around the 9,000 mark here, and we're now starting to move up. We shall see, but it's a positive look from my perspective. So,
Yeah.
and look, it's the big, looking at some of the news articles, and I thought this one was quite topical, and and certainly on the money. What was that?
I like the cartoon. That's pretty clever.
It's a ripper, isn't it? But yeah, look, there's a US congressman who's actually come out and said that Bitcoin is an unstoppable force, and it absolutely is, right? So it's really interesting now that this messaging is now starting to get into the governments, and hopefully they're starting to realise that it is not something they can actually stop.
Yeah,
because of the nature of Bitcoin.
Well, they could shut down the entire internet.
Yeah, they could. Well, even that's not
going to stop it. It just means people won't share it.
Well, even that, they're now working on other network options that would mean that you could actually transfer Bitcoin peer-to-peer across things like what's called a mesh network, where you wouldn't even need to be connected to the internet, and you could still enable transactions. So,
and they said we didn't need 5G.
Yeah, well, who knows? But it doesn't matter. They're working on 6G now anyway, so who knows what's going to happen there. But anyway, it's really interesting to see now the talk around Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies through government, many of the governments. And it's when you watch a lot of the rhetoric and the things that have been talked about over the last few months in particular, coming from some senators that have come out and just said, we've got to ban Bitcoin, to other senators just going, guys, it's unstoppable. You can't do that, right? It's we have to find a way to work with it. But this is what I was saying about and this has all come about because of Facebook's announcement to release the Libra coin and their Libra project. And the one thing, as I said at the beginning, the one thing that this will do is absolutely draw attention and headlines to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, we might not agree with the way that Libra is being constructed or how it will be deployed, and they're not going to beat it. It will get deployed in one form or another.
Yeah.
But the overall benefit to the entire crypto world with that level of exposure is massive. Absolutely massive.
Absolutely it is. And talking about Facebook, the European Central Bank basically are saying that Libra won't launch until the regulators are satisfied, right? Yeah. Which may or may not be a true statement. And my question for that is, well, which regulators are they actually talking about, right? So there's a very good chance, because of where they've set this up, being Switzerland, is they could quite easily get this thing up and running in numerous countries, where the regulators aren't going to stop them, right? And it'll just sort of, they'll start with certain countries and they'll get it up and running.
Yeah, that's right.
Until
anywhere the regulators are saying, well, you can't launch it here, they'll say, okay, so we've now gone from 7 billion users down to, 6.9 billion. So you guys can stay there. Australia, are you ready? Yes, cool. That's what will happen. Fiji, are you ready? Yes, please. Sure. Okay, you're turned on.
Africa, India, all those sort of places. Although India's sort of been a bit hesitant about it.
About passing laws to ban it.
So it's going to be really interesting because a lot of the G7 nations in particular have expressed concern around the likelihood of Libra taking over their sovereign monetary system, right? Yeah. And which, look, I could sort of see happening,
In some cases, it would be beneficial.
Oh, yeah. Look, absolutely. I don't disagree with that, And,
it actually would.
And for a lot of people, and where it's going to really help is a lot of micropayments, where people, they, for example, you see a lot with students who travel to other countries to study and work and send money back home, right? through the current financial systems, it costs too much to send small amounts of money. Right? They lose it all in fees and takes so long. Whereas something like Libra coin, or most cryptocurrencies, but at least Libra is going to be a great easy on-ramp for a lot of people, especially in the low economic side of things.
I'd be interested to see how people buy Libra, though.
How they buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be through Facebook, right? They'll enable, and see, remember, they're going to have on board Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Stripe, right? All these payment facilities. So you'll be absolutely sure you'll be able to buy Libra with your MasterCard or Visa, right? Because if they're on board, that'll happen. And our PayPal, for example. So they'll just create an on-ramp within the Facebook ecosystem, and that'll be done quite easily, I'm sure. But look, as I said, the great thing that Facebook will be doing is that they'll be forcing the conversation around regulations for cryptocurrencies.
Absolutely.
And which is great, because all of this is just bringing more attention to the sector, and hopefully introducing more and more people to the concept. And even though we don't,
do you know what else it means? And it's quite important, actually.
What's that?
It means that there's always going to be some crazy crypto news that we're going to bring to you every day, ladies and gentlemen. It'll just continue to grow. We'll be able to tell you where to buy your Libra.
Or where not to.
That's right.
How to avoid it, right?
Yeah.
But look, like I said to you right at the beginning when we first talked about Libra, it's going to be one of those things we probably can't avoid, and we'll probably use at some point. But would I invest or put a lot of money into it? No way, Jose, right?
No
way, Jose.
The reality is, if Facebook launched it in your country and you wish to purchase something through one of the many quadrillions of Facebook ads these days, that's what you're going to be paying with. You may get out your MasterCard, you may get out your Visa, you may link and click on PayPal, but what's going to happen is that they're going to take the equivalent amount of money out of your account to buy X number of Libra to pay the other person. So, I mean, you're going to be using Libra, whether you believe it or not. It's actually going to happen.
It'll probably happen, yeah. But look, that's fine. It'll be the gateway drug for many people into crypto space. So I'm actually looking forward to that. That'll be really good. Now, really, other interesting news over in China, and after the FUD that happened, it was probably 2 years ago now, was that China came out saying they're going to ban cryptocurrencies, and then they tried to ban mining. Now we've actually got it on record in China that a court has said it is now listed. They're going to classify it as virtual property.
Yep.
Now this is huge for a couple of reasons. One, it takes away that fear that China's going to ban it or try to, which we know they can't. No country can, right? Mm-hmm. China has the best bet because they have their entire internet closed off by their massive firewalls that they've got. But people in China, even through the bans, they still manage to use VPNs and trade. Yeah. So even China was not able to ban it. So it's important because they've legitimized Bitcoin as a real form of value exchange.
It's a legal entity in China now. So
yeah. So
we'll take another court to override that. So
absolutely. Now, and then the other thing that this is really interesting is with Libra coin coming out, you can be sure that China don't want that Libra in China, right? Because they don't have control of course. Not that they have control of Bitcoin, but at least it's an open ledger, and it's not controlled by anybody else either. So they're quite happy to play that ball, and they are making more and more moves into cryptos to get around the US dollar, right? Yep. Especially with for the likes of purchasing oil and natural resources and those sorts of things. So there's lots of deals happening in the background that involves cryptocurrency. So this is really interesting news that it'll be interesting to sort of see how this flows on and what China sort of does next with that. So.
Well, I think overall it's going to be a very interesting week in the crypto market after a highly volatile week last week.
Yes.
Let's sit back and enjoy the ride.
Absolutely, absolutely right. But look, the key thing for people is to don't shy away from it, right?
No.
Get out there, get educated, because this is going to be the future of money, whether you sort of you realise it or not, it's coming.
I know.
And there are so many benefits to the everyday person to adopt cryptocurrencies.
Yep.
And while at the moment it's sort of I suppose it's seen very much as a speculative asset, right? But the reality is that it's
But there's
much
more
more
and more
powerful
people.
than
There's
that.
more and more people speculating in that asset, and that's one of the things. I mean, if you have a look at this overall thing where Trump and governments are saying it's a flash in the pan and everything else, 2 years ago when it boomed, everyone's going, it won't last.
Yep.
2 years later, it's still there, and everyone is talking about it.
Yep.
And the number of investors, while the market cap may be down on what it was back then, the number of investors is actually up. So if you have a look at that, I mean, it's growing and it's going to continue to grow. It's logical. It makes sense. Besides, the banks aren't doing you any favors, ladies and gentlemen.
No, really?
Yeah, it's true, mate.
I don't believe you.
I heard a rumor that the banks are in it for themselves.
No, I can't believe that.
Now that's crazy crypto news. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Dear.
Okay, we've got to make this one short today. So thank you, everyone, for joining us again on our Facebook Live. We'll be back again, same time tomorrow morning.
And YouTube Live. We're live on YouTube
and
too.
YouTube Live as well. And don't forget to join us on Patreon. Right, have a look for Two Crazy Guys, One Crazy Crypto World on Patreon. And because by doing so, don't forget you're going to get one of these little beauties. Limited edition.
And if you subscribe to the silver or the gold,
that's right. See? Yep. See, we've got these limited edition little coins to send you once you subscribe. So please log on and have some fun with us every single day, Monday to Friday. So it's not really every single day. We Saturday, Sunday. No, there's golf.
Golf or family or kids or stuff.
That's it. Exactly.
So
have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Two Crazy Guys, One Crazy Crypto World saying see you later.
See you guys. Have a crazy day.